I haven't driven LMP2s in probably over a year, so heading into this online race with barely any practice, what could go wrong? Well, you probably have some ideas how this might go, seeing as this is also the beginner series. Let me know your experiences with these kinds of races down in the comments. But for now, let's take this as an entertaining and hopefully also educational look at prototype racing from the perspective of a mainly GT3 driver. And as the lights are about to go green here at Spa, starting kind of far back, but that shouldn't be a problem. I just need to be careful for turn 1. With so many people in front of me and even some still behind, I am taking it very cautiously, already on the outside anyway, so let's take it very wide here and not get into any incident. And there definitely was some contact going on and someone rejoining there. That was close, or at least it looked like it. So already a bunch of stuff happening, but so far not the worst start that I've seen. Turn 1 Spa can be very dangerous, so let's take a look once again in the replay. So we just see what's going on, because take a look in front. There's a bunch of people going like 3 wide, even 4 wide maybe. That's kind of crazy, but mostly clean. Just like a little bit of a touch there it seems, and spinning one of the LMP2s. The one going off track here rejoins in a very dangerous manner, and luckily I did give him more than enough space, but it was still a little bit close. But yeah, so far we survived the race start and we did even gain some positions, so let's see how this still goes. And braking here for the right hand after a camel straight. Someone dives on the inside of me, then someone spinning out in front, and I get one illegal pass. Please return position. What is that about? Okay, let's once again check the replay, I guess. So I'm braking here kind of normally, and yeah, someone is sending it on the inside, losing the car, and someone once again losing it in front. But what was that illegal pass? This is the driver that I illegally passed, allegedly. He's the one that dives on the inside, somehow almost spins but saves it. But since I have to avoid off track, I apparently did an illegal pass there. That was kind of weird. So yeah, the system may not be perfect, but I think we can forgive that. In general, the penalty system works kind of well in Le Mans Ultimate, so I wasn't too mad about it. It did return one position too many, I think, because the guy that I had to let pass was the guy that's now 2 places in front of me. But whatever, I was so weirded out, and yeah, the guy directly in front of me, not a problem. He locked up his brakes and is gone. This is something that you might see a little bit more of. There's the next guy, and yeah, that was kind of crazy and dangerous, but okay, he did at least get across the track before I arrived there. Someone else kind of slow in front, and we will gain another position here. So this was actually not that bad of a start. I mean, we did gain a couple of positions just because people made mistakes, but we also managed to avoid most of the incidents that happened, and we haven't contributed to any incident, at least as far as I could see, in the first lap of this race. Another guy seemingly out of bus stop, slow. Maybe there was some contact in front I didn't see. Let's also take a look behind here, because that was also kind of interesting. Maybe braking a little bit early, but the guy behind kind of getting close to me, maybe a little bit late on brakes, and then having to slow down too much with brakes and locking up. I guess that's what happened. Not quite sure. Once again, someone is very slow, and I overtake him here. So we are already in P10. We started P16. So this is what the beginner lobbies are like. A lot of people do make mistakes, because that's what I kind of want to talk about here. The prototypes, and that goes for both the hypercars but also the LMP2s, are kind of difficult to drive if you're not used to the driving without ABS, because that is what makes these cars difficult. I mean, they are also difficult because they are quite fast, hypercars even more than the LMP2s, and also they have like the electronic system and the hybrid system, all of that plays a major role of making them even more challenging. But just from a driving standpoint, already the LMP2s are definitely way more difficult to drive than the GT3s, even with the tire model changes to the GT3s that we had. And that is, as I said, mostly because of no ABS. Otherwise, these cars are kind of okay to drive, especially with these safe fixed setups. Like on throttle you barely have any problems, but on brakes you need to be, well, you need to have good braking technique, and you need to trail brake quite quickly, because locking up the tires is a death sentence, and we're gonna see some of that later in this race, also by me. But you already saw quite a bunch of instances here by other people, because we are now in P9 already. I was kind of confused how that happened, because I really am not great at these cars. As I said in the beginning, I've probably not driven these in a year. I've mainly been focusing, when I was driving LMU, on driving GT3s. And well, if you're not really amazing with these, and here a little bit of a mistake on the brakes made me go to the left, I hit the grass and then spun. Yeah, that can happen. And then I also unfortunately have a bit of a problem with the turning circle of the LMP2. Luckily there was no one behind, so I could just reverse there, because that would have been a very awkward position to be in and probably would have led to another incident. But there was some space behind, so I was able to reverse and then get going again, but that means we now did lose a bunch of time and positions as well. But it's not the end of the world for me. From my perspective, starting this race, as I said, I had very little to almost no practice in these cars. I know Spa quite well, but well, driving the LMP2s is different. Braking points are different, and you need to brake differently. So you can't really just jump in, because things like that can happen. That was just a small lockup, but it meant that the car went sideways quite quickly. I was able to catch it this time, but the problem with these small little mistakes is that they do hurt your tires very, very much, and that's gonna come into effect later in this race as well. For now we are in P11, but there's two people behind, and I feel like at least one of those is a faster driver that was involved in an incident, or maybe, yeah, something happened, because yeah, you can see he is definitely faster than me. He's trying to get by, but yeah, there's some fighting going on behind if you take a look in the mirror. And I think the guy behind, yeah, he's flashing me now. He's like, get out of the way, I'm faster than you. I totally get that, and yeah, I also, because I want to gain safety rating, I'm not taking unnecessary risks. So if someone is really faster, it's a lot of the time a good idea to just let him by. We'll see if I do so here. At least this time, braking for this corner, I managed to do okay and not lock up. Someone else seemingly made a mistake into bus stop, and I did get another position here, but I feel like the guy now directly behind me is also a way faster driver than me, and we'll see more of him at the end of this lap, I think. But for now, let's see if we can keep him behind, and that is going to be difficult, as you're going to see. I'm not the fastest driver, I know that, and he's already flashing me. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. He is definitely faster than me, as we'll see in this lap, but it's sometimes like just giving him the position by just lifting feels just kind of bad. But if he does attack into a corner, then I'm probably just gonna let him by. And he's definitely gaining here, even though like this is like one of my better laps, as you can see in the delta. I'm actually doing quite okay, not amazing. I know that my lap time here is probably not great, and there are people way faster, but I also said I haven't driven LMP2s in such a long time, and it is a skill that you just need to like foster, and you need to get better at just driving these things. Also, just knowing how much speed you can carry. You can see here, behind me, he was definitely trying to go way faster through Pohon here, but I'm kind of scared. I'm taking it quite slow. And yeah, here you can see, I'm like, okay, let's let him by. It's just not worth it. He is just gonna hit the backside of me if I just try to keep him there, because yeah, I'm over braking probably quite a bit for a bunch of corners. But now I'm kind of sandwiched between him and the guy behind, who's also seemingly a little bit faster than me. And there's even another guy behind there, so well, this is gonna be a little bit spicy. How spicy you're going to see when I brake here for bus stop, where I sadly make a big mistake. As I brake a little bit too late and also get on the grass or on the side tarmac there, I'm not quite sure, but I did lock up for sure. I also did hit the guy in front of me, sadly. Apologies if you happen to see this. It's definitely not my intention. I did hit him, did gain damage from that, and I did slide a lot. This was just a big slide off the track, and well, someone here in front of me also sliding. But yeah, my problem now, if you take a look at the bottom right where you can see the force feedback, there you can see what I was feeling through the wheel, which is just pain. These tires are not round anymore, they're squares, or I don't know how like what shape they are, but it's not great. You can see how it's flickering there, and it's in the force feedback that was just feeling super sketchy, because it was just vibrating so much. And that's one of the problems. If you lock up the tires too much and you start sliding, they get so screwed. And also, and that's like the bigger problem, they just perform worse because they are screwed. You'll feel that for the rest of using these tires. And since this is a quite short race, there's no chance I'm going to the pits for new tires just because I screwed up the current ones. By the way, we did jump ahead here to lap number 8, which was one of my better laps. I don't want to just show you the parts where I make mistakes. I also don't want to show you just boring things when nothing happens. So yeah, I kind of need to find a balance here. And yeah, this was one of the better laps. There wasn't any fighting going on, so I actually had some time to, well, try to drive properly. Once again, not perfect, it's not great even. I'm still a beginner at LMP2s or prototypes in general. But I was kind of finding my groove a little bit here, and I think with a little bit more time in these cars I would gain more confidence and therefore would also be able to go a lot faster. But I'm not there yet, and yeah, still the braking is one of the biggest problems, and yeah, especially now with the tires being very much worn and not evenly, it's not great. And seeing here in front, once again, a little bit of a smoke cloud is always what you see when someone locks up the tires. It happens. Driving without ABS, I mean, for some of you this might just be normal, but for a lot of people, including me, who have driven mostly cars with ABS, you're just not used to that. Yeah, it's something that I need to get used to still. And I might do more races in the future in the LMP2s. We'll see, maybe even in the hypercars. I want to get to those eventually, but for now I'm enjoying GT3 driving a lot as well, so this is what I'm mainly focusing on. But let me know in the comments if you want to see more LMP2 racing, and also if you enjoyed this look at me driving, well, something else for a change. Hit the like button on the video, that always helps me out quite a bunch. Yeah, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, then also feel free to do so, and you won't miss any of my future videos. There's gonna be more, both content for Le Mans Ultimate and Assetto Corsa Evo. There's going to be some big updates in the future. But that's it for this race. We finished P13, which wasn't bad, but yeah, it could have been better. Overall, I was kind of happy with the race, apart from the one big mistake, and those couple of small ones, well, they also happened. Yeah, let me know in the comments what your experiences are with the hypercars and the LMP2s, or maybe even the GTEs, because they also don't have ABS. And yeah, what your experiences are in the beginner lobbies with these cars. I feel like it was still kind of good. It wasn't too chaotic and crazy, but still a bunch of things happened, as you could see. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I want to thank you a lot for watching. I've been HD Racing, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.